I could have kept,
That's incredible.
I could have kept one of the ones that started, the ones I ordered that came that were wrong, started in, what is it, June, the beginning of the fiscal year? June and went to the following year in 2026, but I returned those and ordered these, but they didn't have any of the bigger ones.
And since our fiscal year is from June to,
We could have
Wait.
potentially done that, yeah.
But then we wouldn't have had the next few months.
well, no, that's true, but I'm just saying that maybe that's what we should have is a June to a
Transition.
Or
June.
maybe we just transition it in June,
Yeah.
order them order it for June, so we do it, so every June we order it.
Makes sense.
Why don't we do that?
So order now for June.
Yeah, the fiscal, yeah.
And then we'll go fiscal year to fiscal year instead of, that'll actually kind of, I think, help us kind of remember from year end to year end. Cause then it'll have all of our stuff all on one calendar instead of trying to do it on two.
We're ready over here whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah. What I had left over, some good weekends, yeah, too. The boss had, the guy was looking for.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna bring to order this meeting of the Fraser Park Public Utility District.
I'll tell you some miles.
Regular meeting agenda for Thursday, February 13th, 2025. We're starting at 4 p.m. Additional teleconference location for this meeting is 820 Elm Trail, Fraser Park, California. And I'd like to start with a pledge to the flag. If all could rise. Ready, begin.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
Is the PA clean them? They
Okay,
destroy them.
we're gonna start with the
They clean
roll call. This is not a good meeting when you're ADHD. I'm gonna start with the roll call of directors. Director Garcia appears to be absent. Okay. Director Nyman.
Here,
Director Gibson, I believe, is online teleconference.
Here.
Thank you. Director Kelly.
Here,
And I'm Director Schoenberg. So we are 4 present, 1 absent. Item 2, discussion vote adjust agenda if necessary. Are there any items that need to be adjusted this evening?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay, item 3, public comments. These are items that are not listed on the agenda. We like to limit this to 5 minutes. Are there any public? I don't see any here, but anyone needs to make any comments in regard to something not as a public comment? No. Okay, moving on. Item 4, report of officers. We're gonna start with the president. We'll discuss it in the ad hoc. So yeah, I don't have a report. Vice President
Isn't here.
isn't here. Secretary.
I signed some meeting minutes, last week, I believe.
Oh, actually, I guess I do have. I signed a claim. What claim did I sign?
35?
I signed 35 last week or this week, beginning of this week. Okay, treasurer.
I made some transfers, $325 from the revenue into the, planning, account for, Young and Wooldridge invoice. Then I transferred $566.66 from planning into the revenue operating. That was claim, board fees for claim 47. And then the third one was planning back to the revenue, for $39.78. That was staff recovery, for claim 47. And then, planning back to revenue for $550 for board fees for claim 48. And then, planning back to revenue operating for, $33.15. Staff recovery, for claim, 48. We got, Tiffany knows, what claim was it that we can't do anything with? Cause things don't match?
We'll talk more about that later because
In the
there's other
financials?
claim issues.
Okay.
No, in the,
Oh,
under the claims and
space.
payments.
Okay. So that'll explain.
Thank you, Terry, Director Killing. Okay,
What
JPIA,
is that, Oscar? Oh,
May I ask a question of Terry? Were there any automatic transfers?
just our normal ones.
every month
I
there's
keep-
automatic. transfers. Joan, we have the normal.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of them because I'm still
Can you
getting
move that
confused
to
by it.
Treasury, please? I mean, to not treasury, to financials?
Yeah, because I'd have to look them up. I don't know
Yeah,
what
she
they.
needs to,
I mean,
so-
we've given you that information
And
before.
it's
That's
the
a
same thing
monthly.
over-
It's the
yeah.
same thing over and over every month.
Okay, but
I
you were doing a certain amount that was being transferred for the fund to be able to, not the one that pays the USDA payments, but the other one where you have to do the matching funds into. And
We did
you were doing
all
not
of it,
enough in it, and then you did more, and then you cut it, from what I gather, you've cut it down to less. So
Okay,
Are you-
John, if we could stop here and allow our treasurer to look that stuff up and we will move it to
Okay.
financials.
Can you
And
look
I'm
it up?
gonna
I
move
don't know.
Perfect,
on.
thank you.
I don't
Okay,
know my numbers.
JPI representative, can you look that up while we're?
Hello, I have nothing
to Hi.
report.
Thank you, Director Gibson. Okay.
No problem.
Anything else under that item?
You gotta bring the computer over here.
Yeah, because I don't have.
Yeah, just look it up, but we have time to look it up for a moment. Okay. Item 5, board member initiatives. Are there any board member initiatives?
None at this time.
Okay, item 6, managers report. Administrative, the managers report, we gotta
Thank you.
start with first.
It had been brought to my attention that the bathrooms were looking pretty shoddy, especially the bathroom closest to us, the toilet. So, I called in a janitorial company. They quoted me $150 to come in, clean, scrub the bathrooms thoroughly, the floors, everything, twice a month. So before the board meetings for $150. So I said, I'll approve you this month, you know, for 2 times, and then I was gonna bring it to you. So I don't know if that's an agenda item I should have put on,
Mhm.
or if we should, if you don't like that idea, having them come in and clean the bathrooms, because the toilets don't get cleaned good enough. They're never clean. I mean, they're clean kind of, but I don't even know how they got them as clean as they did in there. I don't know what they used, but
Because Tiffany
Because
cleaned
Tiffany
one
did
of
it.
them,
Yeah.
scrubbed it with a pumice before they came in.
yeah, but I mean, even then, there was still some stuff we couldn't get off, and they got everything off, so they have something. But anyway, I don't think it's a big deal. But if you would like to have it as an agenda item, we could put it on the next meeting.
It would have to be.
Or we could just say, we
Or-
don't want it no more.
Yeah, I think it could also be brought up in financial, the financial area, I suppose.
Okay,
Uh,
and that's all I got.
okay. Any questions for our manager? All right, administrative assistance report.
I need to send you all the link again to CSDA,
Oh, yeah,
for
I
your
never got
on-demand webinars.
for the sexual
Because we need to-
harassment. and
Yeah, ethics and sexual harassment are due now.
stuff. I never got, did you send it?
No, I haven't sent.
Oh,
the
okay,
link.
I was gonna say, I never received it, because I've been looking for it.
Yeah, it'll probably be this, they haven't changed it in a while, but they're
Yeah,
supposed to,
but I don't
it's
have-
gonna be a few more months before they change the on-demand one, but meaning it'll be the same one you've heard before. But yeah, it's time to do it, so we'll get those done and then,
But I don't have that email to go back in to.
no, I'm gonna send it.
Okay.
Oh, you mean your email?
No, the email that you would have sent last, or 2 years ago?
No.
Yeah, no.
I have no idea where that's at.
No, I'll send a new one.
Okay.
And that's due when? As soon as we can. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, anything else?
They would have been a great day to do it.
Mhm.
Well, right.
Any other
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
for our administrative assistant? All right, moving on, item 7, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices, we asked Deborah to cut checks, and she did, and we have signed them. So we'll talk about everything else in financials.
Okay, state update meeting is next week, so I guess we'll discuss that when we get to it. Quarterly financial committee, we did.
We met, we went through everything, I think we changed one little tiny minor thing, and that was it.
Yeah, we found a couple really minor, things that could have been moved from one category to another, but they were so minimal.
Yeah.
It was more work to move them than how much they would change our budget or anything else. I mean, it was just, they were in the, basically the right categories, but
Right.
could have been finessed a little bit more, but we did not. Okay, so any questions for any of those committees? Okay, item 8, ad hoc committee reports, planning project committee. We met, you want me to say it since you're on the computer?
Yeah.
We met today, this morning, talked over some items with D, which are gonna come up in the closed session. Basically they have to do with our negotiating our price and how we're gonna pay for both Well 9 and Bear Court. And we need to talk about that some more. There were, of course, no decisions made since it's just ad hoc. It was informative. And that was basically it. It was just, presenting some items, but we felt like it needed to be brought to the complete board. And that's what's going to happen this evening. So easements and deeds committee, we have not met.
I was gonna say, that's you and I?
That's you and
Okay.
me. And
No, we have
I
not.
think it's you and me. Standby fee committee. That's
I think that's
Director
wrong.
Gibson and Garcia. No, yes.
Yeah, okay. Becky,
Do you have anything on that, Director Gibson?
No, we haven't met.
Okay. And rate study committee is Director Nyman and I think
that-
Kelling.
yeah, okay. I know I was on another one, okay.
Have you met?
No,
No,
Okay. Okay, so any questions in regard to any of those? All right, I'm gonna move on to financial business. Director Nyman is trying to look up our transfers while we're doing this. I'm gonna turn the floor over to Deborah, our bookkeeper. You're muted, Deborah.
I'm here. I was trying to look through the reconciliations for the transfers. Did you want me to address that?
do you have them all?
I think I do.
How you want Deborah to cover
well,
But that would be for last month, not this month, correct? I think Joan's asking
That,
about
yes,
this
the
month.
reconciliations are for January, and that's kind of, that's what
We
we're,
went over that with her last month. She's asking about this month.
oh, okay. All right, then,
I think
no,
the same, but we may as well confirm that since Director Nyman's looking it up.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so beginning with the meter well account, we issued 8 checks for a total of $285,373.95. The extraordinary disbursements include disbursement of $3,265 to D. Jasper for claim 31. A disbursement in the amount of $23,774.75 to D. Jasper for claim 29. A disbursement for $6,484.70 payable to D. Jasper for claim 30. And a disbursement for $18,468 repayment to the bridge loan for progress payment 7, claim 33, rough. And the last one is a disbursement in the amount of $232,279.75 repayment of a bridge loan And that was for claims 29 and 30, progress payments 5 and 6 to Bruff Construction.
Hey,
And then
go ahead, Deborah.
I was just gonna move on to the planning account, but
Great, thank you, sorry.
no, that's fine. The planning account, we issued 4 checks in a total amount of $32,758.78. The extraordinary disbursement was $30,545.88 for claim 47, payable to D. Jaspar. And then moving on to revenue operating, we prepared 30 checks for a total of $34,164.15, and we voided 2 checks. The extraordinary disbursements include the disbursement in the amount of $9,007.47 for employee benefits to JPIA, a disbursement in the amount of $4,489.25 payable, that was the primary visa. And the last extraordinary disbursement was payable to Edison in the amount of $7,212.68. That's all I have.
Okay, do we have any questions for Deborah in regard to those items?
I'll make a motion that we pay our bill.
Do I have a second to
I'll
that
second
motion?
that.
Do I have any discussion on that motion before I take a roll call of directors? Okay, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman.
Oh, aye.
I hope so. Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 4-0-0 with 1 absent. And that motion passes. Okay, so now do
We
we
didn't go-
ready
we-
to address Joan's question?
Okay. This is, we do this every month. Joan, first of all, on January 25th, we process a transfer of $5,000 to our USDA general fund.
On the 25th of every month.
Yes, on the 25th of every month. So on the 25th of January, we processed 5,000. We'll be doing another 5,000 on the 28th of February. On the 28th of January, we processed $11,000 reoccurring every month into the USDA payment fund. That's for our principal and interest account that we pay to USDA. And that's every month. So there's 11,000 came out on January 28th, and another 11,000 will come out on February 28th. Then on February 1st, we processed to the USDA replacement fund $2,216.88, and that comes out reoccurring every month on the 1st. We also have going into the USDA replacement fund $5,102.50.
Each of these are for a different loan.
They're each for a different loan, and then we were trying to catch up, so we're paying also $2,500. So that's what's going into the USDA replacement fund at this time.
Every month.
Every month. Okay, and then on February 11th, let's see. Those were the ones that, so that's
I
it,
stated earlier,
that you stated earlier.
right.
So that's it.
And we were actually over on our other USDA funds, so we're currently not paying anything into that one. So we actually had removed some money in order to balance it to where it was correctly supposed to be and move that to revenue operating, but that was a couple months or a month ago.
Yes.
And that's all we got.
So Lisa, when you're saying the one that you were over on, that was on the principal and interest one that you were over on, or the replacement one that you were over on?
Neither of those. It
Oh,
was
okay.
on the
USDA.
USDA revenue, or not
Payment
revenue,
fund.
no, not payment.
Which one are you
No,
talking
there's two
about?
USDA, there's the replacement and the,
I don't know what you just said. Repeat what you just said.
okay, so the one fund that we accumulate money in for the USDA, and then after we accumulate a certain amount of money, we put it into replacements, and then we keep accumulating it in replacement. That fund, which I'm trying to find the name of it because my brain's not working right now, that fund was over the amount that we were supposed to have in it, and so what you do is you check
You mean
that
the reserve
amount,
account?
the reserve. So you
Reserve.
check that amount every year at a particular time, which is October 16th yearly. And if that amount is over, then you reduce it to exactly where it's supposed to be. If it's under, then you pay money monthly until it's back where it's supposed to be. That one was over, so we reduced it to where it was supposed to be. And then the replacement fund is what Director Nyman was talking about, as well as the,
Cause that, she got that information
I
like
know, it's
over a month
okay.
ago, so but you're confusing her, cause then she's asking questions, because all she wanted to know is what transfers were done at this.
But she asked what ones, where was the money over? And I said, it was, it's fine. Okay. So those funds occur every single month, and we revisit those amounts on October 16th to make sure that they are correct. And we
Okay,
have a chart.
and if those change anytime during the year, then you will in the meeting indicate that it used to be this, it's now going to be that. Is that what you would do?
Right, but they shouldn't change anytime during the year unless, I don't know why they would change at any point, because we don't assess them. We assess them yearly and then break that up into 12 payments.
But if it did change,
Okay.
it would be because of discussion vote by the board.
Yeah, if it did change, it would be discussed in this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
November,
Okay,
we assess everything.
any other questions? Excuse me?
Well, I'm not figuring out, all of a sudden it's not, why is the browser not wanting to clear?
Okay, nothing for this meeting. Okay, any other questions for Deborah, our bookkeeper?
I just would like to mention that I am reviewing and making a list of questions for the auditor before the next meeting, because he wants to present in the next meeting. So I want to have all my questions answered before then.
When are we gonna get a copy of that so we could review that before he presents?
I can print you a draft tonight.
That's what you already gave. I
I
already
printed
have
you
a
a draft
draft.
because she was here earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you'd like a draft, I can print you one.
And I think we probably need to meet, can we, what ad
So
hoc
you
is
guys
that?
eliminated Mozilla on here?
Okay.
What?
Can you hold that until we're done with this? Just for a moment. Okay, so Deborah, I think we probably need to meet, but I don't know what ad hoc that would be under. If we met outside the financial, I know we have a second financial standing committee meeting we could do it at, but we need to talk a little bit about the journal entries with Deborah, can explain to the whoever is on that committee. I think it probably would be me and Director Kelling, before we have the final audit presentation, because there's just some questions about old account numbers and things, so. But that, I guess, are we able to do that under the standing committee if we're done with the, initial
But
stuff?
that's the
but this-
quarterly financials thing.
Yeah, Cory.
Oh, yeah, that would be quarterly, but this is in regard to the audit, so what committee would we deal with?
You
For the
form
audit.
it,
We'd have to form it tonight under the new.
Okay, so,
but you're missing an I.
An I.
we can't.
And can we even change anything in the report?
No.
It's
but we
there-
can
We need to know what it says, but, I mean, we can't change it.
It's not the report per se, there's some questions about journal entries that don't make as much sense as they could, and we just need to check and see, because their numbers are our old numbers and not our new numbers.
Mm.
We had changed some stuff with our auditor's blessing to change it, and they didn't change it on their end, probably because there's multiple people that deal with the account.
So we need to put that on the next.
So I guess that would go for the next agenda, if we could just do just be a quick ad hoc, like, for the audit, and that's it, so whoever wants to be on the audit ad hoc.
But then,
that
But who's
understands
presenting
it.
it?
but who's gonna, if they're gonna present in 2 weeks, we don't have enough time.
Them presenting, Deborah, does not affect that, really, they're just presenting the overall.
And the questions that I have for them are really part of my ongoing growth and training in the position and in the processes that I am following prior to audit. So I'm just trying to get a stronger understanding of some of those journal entries, which ones I'm responsible for.
That's why I think it would fall under the quarterly, because that's the committee that actually looks at our financials every quarter.
When do we meet it? The quarterly?
There's one more meeting because we met and then,
No, cause remember the first one was canceled because it fell on the same meeting as the,
we did the
committee?
second one. Okay. I don't know.
I know it's fun,
But the questions, I mean, the
special meeting. for the-
questions don't have to be discussed in the meeting. They just need to be developed and answered before his presentation. So when he's presenting, we understand where we're at.
Right, but we have no way to do that, Deborah.
Oh,
Unless we had a
okay.
meeting, because we dissolved the ad hoc that could have handled that does not exist anymore, and we would have to make an ad hoc. This is the issue with having to make ad hocs on the fly when there's not 5 directors. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. the way-
So we don't have a way to make an ad hoc this evening, without 5 directors. And so we do we need to do they need to go over it at the next meeting, or can we wait one more meeting?
That would be a Scott question.
Yeah, I think they want next meeting. Isn't that right?
Right, but if we don't have an understanding and questions developed, I don't see how we're gonna do anything except say, great. Sure.
Well, they can present on the 27th. You can make your ad hoc for any additional questions. You can ask him directly and then approve the audit.
On the following meeting.
Yeah, on the third.
Okay, we could do that, because they just need to come up for the presentation, and then we could tell them that we have some questions in regard to certain journal entries. And that we will make an ad hoc to quickly go over that, and then we would discuss that with them outside of the meeting, and then we could approve at the, following meeting. Hopefully, we'd be done by
Get the
then.
questions and then approve.
Correct.
Get the
Does that work for you, Deborah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I think that's the plan. So we will do that. So we'll still have a presentation, but we will not vote on that presentation when they come up, and we'll tell them why. And they'll be able to do their presentation to us, and then we'll have some additional discussion, and then we'll vote at the following meeting, just to reiterate what we said. Okay, so, any other questions for Deborah?
No.
I don't think-
Yes? Oh, we just, oh, I thought that was Director Gibson. Okay, I think that's it, Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Okay,
good
thank
weekend.
you. Have a good weekend.
Great.
Stay
Thank
warm.
you. You too. Okay, so moving on, we are at our unfinished business, which is going to be the closed session, start with the closed session. So we're gonna go away briefly, hopefully not too long, but we do need to discuss, and I'm gonna read those items right now, and then I will tell you what we will be discussing, primarily item 11. So oral announcement prior to closed session, Government Code 54957.7A. A representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting.
Yeah.
10, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1, Fraser Park Public Utility District versus CNC Elite Properties LLC et al. Kern County Superior Court Case number BCV 24100199. And item 11, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, property being discussed, parcels 256-070-54, 256-070-55, and 256-520-13. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Brahma Nyman, and D. Jasper. Negotiating parties Jeff French and Emily Wainwright. Under negotiation, price and terms of payment. So with that, we're going to go into a closed session. Like I said, we're primarily discussing 11, just to figure out how we're gonna move forward with that.
You need something?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You need some
Something
crackers?
sweet.
Oh,
Crap. I'll go, I have some bread in my car. Okay, are we back? We're waiting for Becky, right?
I don't know if there's any cookies or anything in there. Andy.
We're just waiting on Director Gibson and Dee to come back.
Is there anything sweet?
I don't think so. All I have is crackers. Rich crackers. Would you like some of those?
No, I'll go grab some bread out of my car.
She says her sugar is low. Does she need it?
I'm just
Rich
kidding.
crackers will do something for you, right?
Yeah, I guess. Let me have a couple. Dee's here. We're still, there we go. Okay. So I see everybody back, so I'm going to bring this meeting back out of closed session into open session. The time is 5:10. And oral announcement following the closed session, Government Code 54957.1A. The legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. We did not have a vote in closed session. We did determine a direction for the property negotiation. But that was not as a vote or action, as just a general direction. So at the next meeting of, well, actually, we need to make a meeting with the property owners again to move forward. Okay. And as far as that was, I'm sorry, that's item 11, and item 10 was informational only. I can say that the court date is not determined, that's on hold, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so on item 10, we did not vote on anything, but the court date, because their attorney has given a motion to be removed from the case, that is kind of on hold right now with the courts, and they're going to wait for CNC Elite Properties to get a new attorney before we can figure out the price that we need to pay for that property. So that's where we're at on 10 and 11. And we're going to move on to 12, discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Wood Consolidation Planning Projects. 12A, discussion vote review of the project's timeline and budget. I don't think we've, you
Have the,
D?
Ruben and I had a conversation yesterday about the consolidation project, and the design and the budget is working its way. You know, we've heard that a few times, but now really it's been approved, but there are 3 or 4 signatures that have to be obtained. And so Ruben is working his way through the administrative process to just get those signatures, and then they'll then issue a revised funding agreement, I think is how that works, Lisa and Brahma. I'm not sure, but that'll be revised to our new budget. And then Ruben and I talked today about extending or making sure that our timeline's okay. And so I told him I would take a look at our Gantt chart, which we put together originally, and then just take a look. And now that time is moving on, and you know, we're not starting when we thought we could, we may extend that a little bit, a month or 2, just to make sure we have enough time. He wants to make sure that we have enough time to get it done. And so I told him I'd take a look at it, and I'll give him a call tomorrow and we'll chat about it. So let's move
Okay,
on.
great, thank you. Thank you, Dee. So 12B, discussion vote on the acquisition development of well 8. That was what we were just discussing. Although we are in ownership of the property, it has been staked. It has not been scraped yet because the Gannon box had issues, so that hasn't happened. And we have put a
We have
lock on the
access.
property. We have
Yeah.
access, yes. And then we're just waiting to find out what the price is that we're going to be paying from the courts. Anything else on A or B before we move on to C?
Just the fact that we have applied for expedited funding for well 8, that application went in about a year ago. And it's just been sitting there until we got possession of the property. We now have it, and so Ruben is now moving ahead with his management to see if we can get this thing moved ahead and financed as soon as possible. Particularly, you know, in round 4, that's what we were approved for, and that's coming up. I don't know when that is. He doesn't either, but he's going to give us updates as soon as he finds out, you know, what the status is for round 4. As you recall, we were approved. Lawrence approved us. We anticipated getting a funding agreement, but then we didn't have possession of the property. So now that we have possession of the property, that should move ahead. And I told Ruben, and he actually asked the question. He said, are we at risk for well 5 failing? And, you know, of course, we all know the answer to that. And I told him, yes, very much at risk. It's high risk. So we really need to move that expedited funding forward. And he's on it. So I expect
Any
an
other
update
questions?
from him.
Go ahead, Dee.
I expect an update from him next week. And we'll chat again, and I'll pass along any information that I get to the board.
Great, thank you. 12C, we talked about that in closed session again, moving forward on acquiring well 9 and also the Bear Court site. So that's still in negotiation. And we just need to move forward on that. So anything on 12C additionally? Otherwise, I'll move on to 12D.
Nothing for me, Lisa.
Okay, 12D, discussion vote on LAFCO work. We've basically, we're just in a holding pattern on that, correct? Because we already did the exemption and is that finalized?
As far as I know, there were no comments, so. This clearinghouse doesn't do anything with it. We just file it with them and wait for comments, but there hasn't been any, so it's past that period.
Tiffany, can we get a copy of our filing, that NOE, the filing date with the clearinghouse? And then I'll put that together with the county where we've filed it there. And really, that's the last thing that we need. And then we'll put our application, put it all together and submit it.
Yes, I'll email that to you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments on 12D? 12E, discussion vote, that's tabled, but not an MOU. That'll be tabled towards the end, until the end of this planning project. 12F, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. So this is Lake of the Woods, Pam?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the current grant, we're planning a final walkthrough with Ruben the last week of February, looking like the 27th, but he's going to finalize his plans and get back to us. And then we can finalize our last claim. The other grant, no news yet. Well, number 4, as of January 13th, non-detect for iron and manganese. Our blending station, January, that's all the results we have so far, and they were 2.6 for nitrates and 1 for fluoride. As far as how the wells are doing, they dropped from last month 0 to 3.4 feet. So they were either staying the same or dropping. Since January of 23, though, they're up 16.8 to 44.5. But since January of 2024, they're only up 5.3 to 17.5. So bring on the rain. PFAS testing, we did get results in already for January's testing from January 22nd. All of those are below notification response or reporting levels. I don't know if you want me to break them down, but PFOA was 2.4, PFOS was 2, PFHXS is a non-detect, and then PFBS is 1.8. So we'll get that report with our wells and information next month, guys. Any questions?
No, thank you, Pam.
Do you guys want an update on our nitrate thing?
Sure.
That would be great,
Our,
Johnny.
well 5, nitrates is 8.9, which is a little lower. Fluoride is 1.4. And then 6. Nitrates are 4.9, which it's been for a long time. And fluoride is 1.8.
Wow.
But
Thank
it's
you
been
so
that for the entire time I've been here, really.
And Johnny, have we done PFAS on ours?
Scheduled, I didn't know that you would even do it on your own, because what I was told is that I had to go through the college, Sacramento or whatever. So we're scheduled, they're coming down here on April 7th to do our PFAS testing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
the first one through the state was free. And so you want to get that free one done, like Johnny's doing, to even just detect whether or not you have it. We detected stuff. So now we are on quarterly monitoring, and we did the first one free, just like Johnny is doing in April. I don't know why they're spreading it out, guys, because they did us. They're doing you guys in April. They're not doing Krista until January of 26. We're all on the same hill. Like you're coming from Sacramento. Why would you put us all on the same schedule? But one hand's
You
not
would
talking to
think.
the other. So,
Well, that's how we spend more money.
well, Johnny's saving you money by doing it in April. So. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Okay, and
you.
last on this item, 12G, discussion vote on claims and payouts. That's not happening until after next week at the state update, but I have a hand from Tiffany.
So we have updates. Claim 46, when we got paid, the state disallowed an attorney invoice. Claim 47 came in, they disallowed an attorney invoice. Claim 48 came in, they disallowed a large amount, but that amount didn't correlate to any of our invoices. So, and then claim 49 came in, they disallowed another attorney invoice. So the last 4, they haven't paid in full. I've been emailing Carlos, he's probably sick of me bugging him. And he emailed me back today saying he's been bugging Ruben and Ruben hasn't replied to him. But we're trying to look into, figure out why they're not covering those invoices, plus what they didn't allow in claim 48. So we deposited claim 48, but we haven't paid out any of the invoices because we have no idea what to pay on what. So we're just waiting to hear back from Ruben.
I wonder why they're disallowing.
Yeah, they didn't give any justification or explanation or.
No, we just get checks in the mail. That's all I get. So if it's $100 less than what we submitted, and there's an invoice for $100, it's easy to tell what they didn't cover.
Right.
And it's been consistently the attorney invoices for a while. Now I don't know what
And I
happened
think,
with 48.
And how do we know how much the attorney invoices total?
No, altogether, I would say it's definitely below $2,000.
but we're
It's
not.
probably below $1,500. They haven't been big ones.
And we're not submitting attorney invoices that should get disallowed because we have paid those ourselves. So
I know the last couple were in regard to well 9. the work he's been doing there. But yeah,
But I
again,
thought we
until
didn't-
we hear from Ruben, we don't know why the state's disallowing it.
I can talk to him next week.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
Cause we might have to pay those invoices.
We're covering them in the meantime, because, back from claim 46, that's pretty old.
Right, so did we cover them here?
We already paid them, correct?
We've covered 46, 47, not 48, because we don't know what's going on.
Right,
And we're going to cover the next one, which is, at the next meeting. But that one's like $97. It wasn't
right,
it's pretty small.
okay,
And then, Tom Dotson, we're getting needled from now. So we've gotten everything in, but we're talking invoices from claim 50, but we can't submit those yet anyway. So those we may want to cover in the
how much
meantime.
are those?
Maybe around 2,000 or 1,000. They're not crazy large amounts
Okay.
either. But he's asking for payment, so.
So
We need
maybe,
to get
maybe
those
we
covered.
should next, go ahead and pay Tom Dodson, next time, and we just keep a record, because we're
Yeah.
gonna submit it once we get the amendment.
I've thrown them in Deborah's box, because what I do is I put them in there, and then when they go to AP committee, then AP committee can look them over. But
Okay.
yeah, they're there for payment.
Okay,
You'll have to ask state.
Okay, so we can't really ask anything else on that because Carlos isn't here and we need to ask probably the state update meeting, so.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, anything else on item 12? Yeah, item 13, discussion vote update on FPPD meter replacement project, emergency well supply project, 13A. Well 7, are we still, trying to figure out what?
Last I heard, unless Dee's got an update, Curtis said he was still working on trying to get with Unified.
yeah, I think that was the discussion. I think that we need to, try and get the claim in, according to Oscar. We need to, so next meeting, which is in 2 weeks, we need to have their invoices. And we'd also like the meter replacement. We'd like to get all that submitted to the state,
Well, we'll cover that when we get to meter replacement.
right?
They are.
Well, it'd be.
It's not a line item yet.
Right, but yeah,
Okay, so 13A is on hold, everything's done as far as the site itself. The fencing, the capping, the abandonment.
Only thing left is getting the extra, stuff that we have to purchase and, paying the invoices.
Okay, so 13B, and we aren't done with that yet. So 13B is the meter replacement.
That one, there was a leak, I told you guys about it on the trailer park meter, on the service line. So Matt's been working with Bruff to come in here and do that because it's gonna be a pain, so we wanna use that money because it's still available. And, now Matt and Bruff is running into issues with the encroachment permit at county roads. So last I heard yesterday, they were trying to figure that out. The county was telling them that we needed to update our encroachment permit. And I'm saying that it was work done under Bruff, so Bruff needs to update their encroachment permit, so we're trying to figure that out. That's what I'm picking up tonight.
so I guess the issue is once again, I guess I'll just restate, getting the progress payments from Bruff, getting them submitted this month if we can, because the longer, if we wait, then it takes us a long time to
Get the money from the
get the
state.
money from the state, because coming to fiscal year end, and then they take months before they give us payment. So that's why we want to try and get everything in.
So Ruff needs to speed along that final one last meter so they could get in all their stuff.
Right.
Right, or at least, or
Get everything but that one.
you get everything but that one, and, you know, cause the last thing's gonna be, you know, the retention, you know.
Yeah.
Which is in the end, but if we get all their work paid for, you know, I mean, that's the.
Yeah, Ruben, passed along some information on that, and he said, he had contacted, Self-Help, Oscar, I think, trying to, I guess, you know, coordinate this thing. I'm not quite sure what needs to be done there. Are you familiar?
I did speak to Ruben. The matters that we touched on was the transfer request from contingency to the construction.
Mhm.
So he indicated that on his end that the memo that we sent over was approved, so it's going to go to his upper management for finalization. I don't know if that's what he was describing to you, D.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So like I said, so the main thing, D, is that we get as many progress payments and from Unified and from Bruff, so that we can get them submitted on this claim for the next meeting, because like I said, I don't want us waiting months and months and months because of fiscal year end. And they start to slow payment, you know, when you submit them in like March and April, you know, all of a sudden they just don't pay for several months.
Of July, August.
Yeah, I'll pass that along to, Curtis, Brahma, and he'll put some pressure on Bruff, and Unified as well to get this thing wrapped up.
Okay. Anything else on that? Otherwise, I will move on to C, 13C. Claims and payouts, which I don't believe we have any issues going on with that, so that won't be happening until after next week.
Right.
And D, discussion vote update on the bridge loan request payments and contract extension. We sent out some checks.
That's Oscar. Did
I
you
have some updates.
find out?
Guys on that, if you guys will.
Okay.
So as you guys are aware, your bridge loan extension expires February 28th of this month. So with that said, I went off to speak to my director and letting them know that we would need another bridge loan extension, and that would probably be the last one because it would go through June of this year. And this was in January when I did this, right after our board meeting, the last board meeting. Unfortunately, the SAFER contract where we get our bridge loan money through, per the state, they only allow 2 extensions. So what I did was I submitted an emergency request to them to make an exception because of the kind of the delays that we had with the whole funding agreement and that sort of stuff last year. And just letting them know that, well, we had delays, it was out of our control. So I submitted a request for a 3rd bridge loan extension, and that's with state water boards managers right now at this moment. I haven't gotten a definitive no or a definitive yes yet. And with that said, I would stress the importance of trying to obtain the progress payments from Bruff and Unified before the 28th of this month. That way we could send off the claim and use the bridge loan one last time, worst case scenario, if that extension doesn't go through.
And I think Ruben is on that, Oscar, due to your request, and he expressed to me that it looks like, because what really happened was their problem, not ours.
Correct.
They would take the responsibility for that. So I think your request, I think got some attention, got Ruben's attention for sure, and then he passed that on to his management, and it looks like you were effective in getting some action. I think it's very favorable.
Okay.
The-
He did indicate to me that the manager for the Safer unit, which oversees that they requested an information from him, so that they were preparing some sort of statement letting them know that, you know, it was out of Fraser Park's control, basically what occurred. And they were in essence preparing a statement, but I haven't heard back from their unit yet. So that's the only reason I bring it up. I mean, more than likely they will, but we don't know for certain yet.
Okay, there's a question from Director Nyman.
Yeah, so what Oscar's saying, Dee, is that we need to get Unified's and Ruff's progress payments so that we can request the loan before the 28th, because tonight we're paying back $250,000 to the loan that we're currently on. So before the contract ends, we want to get those progress payments early so we can have Tiffany request those amounts before, so that we get it before the 28th, so that they issue us a check before then, before the contract ends, and then we can send out the payments. So I mean, it's kind of like we're at the last minute, but it's like if Bruff and Unified want to get paid, they need to get off their duff and submit their invoices to Curtis and get us that information so that Tiffany before the 28th can get the money so we can issue checks.
I'll pass that along.
Can you adjust the heat?
I think that's a pretty good incentive for them to get these things done, get them done and get them into us, especially with the February 28th deadline. So we'll get that information to them, Brahma.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah, because our meeting's on the 27th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we need to have the
We'll be
progress,
cutting it.
we probably need to have the progress payments in here way before the 27th. I mean, probably by the end of next week, by the end of the 21st, I would say. So that Tiffany has time to request the money.
Could you guys pass a motion contingent upon you guys getting that? That way we can possibly pass that final request if it were the case with the bridge loan approval. That way it doesn't need a board meeting to be approved.
Okay, I make a motion that upon receipt of the progress payments from Ruff and Unified, that we authorize Tiffany to request the monies from the bridge loan.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, roll call directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 4-0-0, one absent. So Tiffany does have the go-ahead to move forward on that once we have the invoices in hand for the progress payments. Okay, anything else on that? All right, moving on to item 14, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. 14A, discussion vote on engineering and design.
Well, I
No
made some-
changes, correct?
Yes, we made some headway on that one too. We received the state's comments today or yesterday. Can't remember when, I think today. So we're working on those right away. Getting the plans and specs modified in accordance with their recommendations with the review that Jesse did and Ryan did. So
Can you
that's,
briefly summarize what the issues were or what their changes were? Just real brief?
no, I can't. I passed it along to Curtis and he's working on it. I don't know what the exactly what the specifics are.
I can tell you what the gist of it is, the
Okay.
types of changes, not that the design was wrong, but the ones I read were like that there's a fire hydrant within every so many feet of the other one along the pipeline. So it looked to me like Jesse was just going down and just going through a checklist to make sure that everything was met. And just so you know, the only reason we ever heard anything back from Jesse, I guarantee you, is because Dee had to follow up with several emails to him to get him to finally respond. And now we can move forward with, because Jesse's so busy, I guess he just needed to know how important it was.
Okay, so Curtis is checking that all out and then it'll be resubmitted again for their approval?
Yep, Curtis is on it and so I expect probably within, well, it's the end of the week this week, but by the end of the week next week, we'll have everything, all the comments covered and we'll do the resubmittal.
Okay. And so you can update us at the state update probably, or if not, at the next meeting. Okay, 14B, discussion vote on the project application. Is there anything? We don't have Carlos.
I have to jump off the call. But thank you all and have a great weekend.
All right, thank you,
Okay,
Oscar.
thank you, Oscar. So I
We
don't
don't have any.
think we have any changes on that. I think we were just waiting for this.
The standby fee?
No,
No.
this is the
Okay.
project
My
application.
bad.
Yeah, we don't have any information because Carlos isn't here.
We've done everything. We were waiting for the state to
Right.
respond, so I think we're still waiting in that phase. Okay, item 15, discussion vote on the standby fee assessment. Tiffany,
So the original person we contracted with to do the community outreach for the standby fee, she has an injury and she's not gonna be able to travel. So her coworker is gonna take over the in-person meeting. Her coworker is actually gonna be in town, and I say that generally, and is asking if we can have the public outreach meeting on March 6th. We haven't, they haven't sent any information about the time yet.
way sooner than. isn't it?
No, because we need the outreach before we do the resolution hearing.
Oh.
That's a Thursday.
And what time are we talking about?
I requested evening, but I don't know
You said
yet.
May or March?
March
March.
March
That's what I
6th.
thought, okay.
I don't know yet, other than her flight leaves that evening, the evening of March 6th. If we do it at a time she's not already in the area, it just costs more Cause we have to cover it for the travel, for the time.
Can you do it on the fifth? In the evening?
It could be she already has, I can ask, but I think they may have, you know.
But she did not
stuff-
give you a time.
Not yet, because they have to figure out when her flight's leaving. So I'm
Well,
guessing.
how can you
I
ask
mean,
for, how can you ask for,
Well, you
That's
can,
because we gotta get the day down and then,
Yeah.
so they can start figuring out what time she can get here, because flights change day to day. And since it's last minute, since the other lady got hurt, she was gone doing something for a week, and when she came back, she said that she had a problem with her ankle.
So basically, we're gonna have a public outreach meeting at a time when possibly
Nobody's here.
nobody's here.
it's the question, can you do it on March sixth? I just have to respond to her. If you don't wanna do it,
Well,
like,
I
as
can
long
do
as
it on
it's
March.
before a certain time, you have to tell me what to tell them.
I mean, but if she's saying it's at noon, because she has a
They haven't
flight.
said yet, but if you tell me you're willing to have it on March sixth, as long as it's,
In the evening.
At 6 o'clock or.
well, what's evening, 4, 5, 6, which one are you willing to do and not
Six.
willing to do?
We'd like 6, because that at least gives some people who work off the hill time to get here if they know it's happening, but if she can't do 6.
She can't do
because
6, say no to that date?
Yeah. Well, there's no. I don't see why we should do a date at noon or 1 in the afternoon or 10 in the morning. Just because she can be here.
Unless it's a
And-
weekend.
Well,
Unless-
she can come another time, it's just now it's gonna cost us more.
Well, I understand that, but the thing is public is supposed to be there. It's a public meeting. It's not, a meeting
So
for
I'll tell
us.
her not on the 6th unless it's 6 PM or later.
cause this is an
And
outreach
then
meeting,
otherwise
right?
they have to
Right.
find a different date.
Yeah, we can do, you can do the 6?
I can do
You
the
can do the 6?
I guess so. I
Yeah.
don't- I'm not sure.
Director Gibson?
Yeah, I think, what day of the week is it?
That's a Thursday.
The first Thursday in March.
Okay, yeah,
So I think the issue is, we could all be there, it's just whether it could be maybe 6 or 7 PM. I think 5's cutting it a little close,
Yeah.
so, and then if we can't do that, then we would have to think about the weekend or something.
Okay. So I'll respond with that.
Because it's not gonna do us any good to have this whole study if no one's, I mean, it's probably no one's gonna be there, or very few people are
Well,
gonna be there,
you
but
know,
we're really.
I don't have much hope for this, but at the same time, if we're gonna do outreach, we need to have
Do outreach.
outreach when people can be there.
Right.
I mean, that's really the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, when we send out the notice to them, we could also tell them that they're available by Zoom. People can call in too, if they get back late, cause they work in Orange County, they could still call in when.
Right, but most people are usually working probably till 5, so
That's what
that's
I'm
not a
saying.
great time, but if they could do a Zoom call from before they leave, then
Yeah,
that would work
Well,
also.
we're doing it at the community building, right?
We can't do
No.
it at the community building, because then we can't do,
I think we would have
we
to
can't
it
do Zoom.
here.
there's no Wi-Fi.
So you're good.
And you can't do the community building on March 6th because it's already reserved.
It's gonna be here, even at the height of animosity with the rate increase, we easily handled the people that came here. That's truth.
Okay, well, if you think so. Cause I know when we did a rate increase, when we had like 50
No
or,
way, we had maybe 20 at that thing.
Well, I don't think we're gonna get.
And half of
20
them,
in there.
and half of them left when they found out what it was about.
It's true.
It's true. When they found out it wasn't about water quality or whatever, they left. So I think that's fair, because then we could have the Zoom and anybody could call in on their way home. I mean, just
Right.
getting in traffic.
Right. So, yeah, I think that would allow us to do it earlier, so that would definitely make 6 PM okay. And maybe even 5:30, maybe pushing it, but
I still think,
I think 6 would be fine.
yeah.
I think it needs to be at 6 or later, yeah.
Yeah, I'll see what they ask.
Okay, so, and then it's May is the actual count, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, any questions, anything else on 15?
Are we gonna be able to get the notification out to everybody in time for March sixth?
I think they want the public outreach before we send the ballot vote.
Yeah, I agree, but we have to be able to send a notice saying we're gonna have a vote
Oh,
and we're gonna have a public outreach on March
Yes.
6th.
Gotta have it sent
So
out.
that means we
letter.
would have to send that out, next week.
Yep,
yeah, as far as notification, yeah, there's no legal requirement, it's just the public outreach, so.
Cool.
It's not a public hearing or anything.
yeah,
And we
but
probably
people need
should
to know
put
that there's a
something in the
public
paper.
Yeah.
Whatever we send to, send out in the mail for the meeting, we'll send to the paper as well.
1, 2, 3 weeks away.
Yeah, cool.
That's why he's saying it'll have to go out next week.
Yeah, well, I can only wait for their response for the
Yeah.
time, so.
Right.
Okay, moving on, item 16, discussion vote on the rate study.
I don't think there's any updates.
Okay, item 17, continue discussion vote.
Can we go back to the standby fee assessment thing?
Yes,
If they're not able to do it on the 6th, what is the alternative date? Because we need to be able to. Because if you're gonna have to send out a message, outreach saying we're gonna do it on this day.
Should we try to, you guys can see what's available on the weekend? Are you available on that weekend?
or would we be able to do the,
Yeah, I can.
okay, yeah, on the
So we'll
weekend.
ask the weekend, the Saturday, Sunday following that if. that doesn't work.
Well, she's
But-
traveling on Thursday. I don't see her traveling back 2 days later.
Oh, yeah,
Where's
But
she,
I could
where's
be
it
wrong.
coming from?
that's true.
I
Right,
don't know.
But we could do the same evening as our meeting, I suppose, and somehow incorporate it.
Well, like on the 13th?
Yeah. We would have to stop the meeting, or we would have to abbreviate the meeting somehow.
Well, that's what
That
we.
would give us 2 hours to finish our regular business.
Well, that's what we already have in our schedule, is the 13th, we had
Yeah.
a public hearing at 6 o'clock.
Right.
That's what we had. On the 13th.
Oh, because that's the resolution of intention meeting. Is
So
what
then
she
what-
wanted.
Oh, she wanted
And this
that on the
needs to be
13th.
done before, wanted it done before the resolution of intention meeting, which is March 13th.
So I wonder if you could find out if we should do all of it at the same time.
Yeah, they're really
We'll have
pushing
to
this.
talk to them.
They're trying to convince this really.
Actually, they're not trying to convince us of anything. They have no intention of even coming until we ask them to come, because to me, you do the rate study, you have to be able to be here to explain what you're saying, because
Or-
otherwise they were gonna dump it on us to try to explain how they came to the numbers.
For the 27th, we have our meeting, but we'd have to abbreviate the meeting and
January
then do,
27th?
February?
February. I mean, we need to be able to throw out some other times, so I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
that, you know,
Or,
that would be-
or Saturday, well, yeah.
How
or
about that
Saturday the 1st.
Monday through Thursday of the first week? If she's traveling, maybe she could come a day early
Or something.
to do her traveling. Maybe that would work out too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it has to be on a Thursday.
I mean, I'm
That
available,
Tuesday.
that week, I'm available the whole week, so it doesn't matter what day you decide to do it. I mean, I have stuff during the day, but
Are you?
Tuesday night or
I'm
Wednesday
not
night.
available Tuesday, actually, that would be Tuesday the 4th. Yeah, I could do, it's a phone follow-up. Yeah, I could do Tuesday the 4th. I cannot do Wednesday the 5th. And I could do Monday the 3rd. If it was 6 PM. I'm in Bakersfield for all day, but yeah, it could.
Yeah, I'll throw out the dates, see what they say.
okay,
And we also potentially the 1st, we could do a Saturday. the
we could do a
1st.
Saturday the 1st.
And Saturday you could do it like a new Saturday, I think it would be okay not to do a six
Yeah.
PM. I mean, some people work on Saturdays, but
But yeah, but.
please, you can't get everybody, but at
Right.
least that would
You could
give
do,
us a weekend.
we could,
Okay.
we could do 11, 12, whatever. On the first, on a Saturday.
Okay, so are we done with that? I think
Yeah.
we're on item 17, the district's record retention policy.
Lisa, can I
Wanna
ask
do
a
that?
question about the rate study, please? Has the ad hoc committee set a date yet for when they're going to be meeting for this?
No.
We already met.
No, we didn't.
No.
No, that's me and. that's
Oh, no,
me
I'm
and-
sorry. I'm sorry.
And Carlos has not, gotten back to us to have a kickoff meeting yet.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
we want to table 17 till Jerry's here?
Yes, please.
Yes, I make a motion that we table, number 17.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion before I take a roll call direct?
Till the next, till
So the following regular,
The next
the
one.
following regular meeting.
as long as we don't have this thing happening that night, because then we
Right.
probably don't want to do it.
Well, we can always table it.
Right, okay. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Hi.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 4-0-0-1 absent. We are tabling the record retention policy item 17 until the next regular meeting. Do we want to do a recess?
No.
Okay. New business, item 18, discussion review vote on ADA website compliance.
Dee, you can,
Oh, yeah,
depart if you'd like. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you, Dee. We'll see you
Thanks.
next week.
One, just a little piece of information for you. I have back surgery on Thursday, the 27th. And it's not tremendously complex, but I'll probably, that'll be early in the morning on the 27th, and I probably will not feel like being at the board meeting on that evening.
Oh, that's fine.
But,
Can Curtis,
mhm.
can Curtis be here? Because I think we are gonna have to discuss some things on the 27th.
Okay, good. I'll have Curtis keyed up for the meeting.
Great,
you.
All right.
thank you so much. Be thinking about you, Dee.
Yeah, but we'll
Yeah,
talk to you
thanks.
next week.
It's not huge, but I gotta get it done. So anyway, that's coming up. All right.
Stay
well,
off those horses.
Whenever you go over the night, it's huge.
Oh, boy. Well, it's in your blood. You just live with it. and
I understand.
Live with
I'm like,
getting knocked around. That's kind of part of it. But anyway,
yeah, I'm like reading it out.
All right, all right.
Okay,
Thank you,
Dee.
Dee.
Have a good weekend. We'll see you at the state
Thank
update
you.
meeting.
good night.
And we'll turn it over to Tiffany for item 18.
And I defer to Johnny.
Actually, I was gonna start this. New laws came down again, like they always do. You know, Tiffany's created the best website we could ever have. Well, now, since they changed ADA compliance standards, everything has to be changed. Everything has to be, rescanned in certain formats with certain things, with certain, colors on the screen. I mean, it's super, super in depth to the point where the companies that do it are charging 5 or 6 figures to do that. So we're gonna have to send Tiffany to some training to learn how to do it, and then she's gonna have to be spending a lot of extra time. Basically, she's gonna have to pull everything off and document by page, not document by document, but page by page, change everything to be ADA compliant, because not only did they decide to change that, but they also have attorneys in California, well, probably the United States, that are basically the ambulance chasers that are going around finding the websites that they could sue for not being ADA compliant. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of the horrible workload Tiffany's gonna be under, and we have got to get her trained in it to know how to do it, because we can't afford to pay a company to come in and do it. So it falls back on Tiffany. She probably has some more information than that, but the basic gist of it is
Yeah, we understand.
federal government hammered us.
Yeah, it's new standards. It's called the Web Content Accessibility Guideline, version 2.1 AA. And they passed the law saying that all state and local governments need to now conform to this international standard. So my question, right now on the website, we have meeting minutes and agendas that go back to 2017. My hope, so I can, when I learn how to do it, we need to change those agendas and minutes into this, format, right? And in the meantime, do what's called archiving, anything that we don't want to be immediately accessible. To do it one at a time does take an incredible amount of time. I'm hoping I can delete the years, some of the older years, completely off the website, so I don't have to go into every single file one by one.
I'm okay with that.
Cause she still has them all. She just.
Yeah, they still exist. I'm saying off the meeting schedule off the website, so you won't see the older ones on there, but my question would be, how far back do you
Yeah, how
guys
many
want me to start?
months do they even, is there a requirement for how many months are recent? Like, can it be just 1 month? Can it be 2 months?
So the law requires that we have upcoming agendas and recent minutes. That's the extent of the explanation of the law. There is no time frame. For transparency certificate, they want 6 months of minutes
So I say we
going
do,
back.
so I say we do 6 months.
About 6 months.
And everything before that, deleted from the website.
Yeah, because then Tiffany, as time permits, when she gets everything else up to ADA compliant.
Right.
If we want, she can also then go back and start adding more stuff that
Right.
we archives.
So,
Right, and this is only specifically minutes and agendas that we're talking about. Forms have to be changed. Any required policies that we have on the website still have to be on there. So all the legal required stuff is gonna have to be changed on the website. Because it's not legally required, I'm hoping we can just remove it for now in the interest of time.
I have a question before
Yeah.
you make that motion or whatever you're gonna do. I almost feel that we should delete even more than that because even though, the transparency compliance, I think that's great and we're very transparent, but that is not a legal requirement. And recent is a legal requirement, but having it on there correctly is now gonna be a legal requirement.
Right.
So I think we should talk 2 or 3 months recent, like
Right.
maybe 3 months.
right,
And that we forego for the moment the compliance requirements until she knows how to do this. Because the one thing that is compliant right now, from my understanding, and tell me if I'm wrong, is the we live feed and we are able to put up the YouTube stuff, and that is our whole meeting. So if we
Right.
don't have minutes up there, people can watch the whole
Right.
doggone meeting. So
All
I
it takes
think,
is an email and Tiffany sends what they want anyway. If somebody
right,
wants
so
it,
I would almost say 2 months is recent.
Yeah,
Or 3
but
months.
I can clarify. So what I'm asking is to delete the existence of the meetings.
yes.
But I can leave 6 months and archive that. So I'm not gonna not do anything with it. But if I only have to archive 6 months, it's a lot easier than archiving
Okay.
6 years, 7 years, 8 years.
I make a motion that we delete minutes and agendas older than 6 months from the website completely. And that Tiffany go ahead and archive the other 3 months
Mhm.
and just leave 3 months on the website.
Or do we even want 3 months on the website?
Well, they're archived, so it's not visible, but what it allows
Okay,
people to do
oh,
is.
that
request
she
them.
goes ahead and archives 6 months
Yeah,
and then she continues to put the current meetings as per law,
Yeah.
yeah, moving
moving forward.
And,
Once
and
I
that we leave on
take the
the,
classes.
that we leave on the YouTube, we leave on the visible meetings.
Well, there's a lot that's staying on there, so Streamline, that's the one who hosts our website. What they're doing is they're pretty much handling all and the word isn't compliance, it's actually conform, and it just helps. Because we're conforming to standards, they made most of the web pages conforming to the standards, so our web pages are fine. Our YouTubes have closed captioning, which is the requirement for videos. So those are good. Those all can stay. None of that has to be changed. What our responsibility is PDFs. Anything in PDF form is what we have to deal with. All the other web page and stuff is all being handled by Streamline, which is an incredible thing that they're
Yeah.
able to do that, because it takes almost all of the work out of our hands. It's the PDFs that we have to do one by
And
one,
just all our documents.
all the documents.
And do we know what the upcharge is now going to be for Streamline? Have they
Yes,
told you
so
that?
starting July 1st, 2025, we currently pay $250 a month for Streamline. It will go up to $350 a month. And it's gonna be their minimum, they're gonna have different levels that you can pay, that's their minimum, their minimum package, I guess. We'll have to do that one, but the nice thing is it comes with, compliance scanners. So they're constantly scanning everything we put in there, and when they find anything that we need to alter or modify.
So if you make a
we-
mistake or something, it
Yeah.
flags you.
Or, my format isn't.
Yeah.
If they catch anything in the formatting, we're instantly notified. And then it tells you exactly what it is that isn't conforming, what it is you need to change, and then you can go in there and change it. So I know it's a lot more for the website, but they put a lot more into it.
Yeah.
So that's the good
Can
part.
you read
They're making it.
date again, the motion?
Or simple cut.
I make a motion that we delete all agendas and meeting minutes older than 6 months from the website, and that we archive everything from 6 months, we archive, and that going forward, we just have the meeting minutes on there at this point to present day. What is required
The current. So is that good?
for current?
Yeah, and then, anything else like policies that we have to have on there and all that, once I go to school and learn all the stuff that I need to learn to
Well, we
create
can
these
revisit.
documents, then I'll be able to modify everything. And of course, anything I create moving forward, minutes, agendas will all be in the new standard. And also look for, agenda stuff to look a little different once I learn how to do them. It won't be the exact picture we've had.
Right.
Here. It'll just,
So
It'll be
is
a
there a
different
second on
format.
the floor?
I'll second.
I'll
it.
make second.
Okay. All right, well, we already have a second from Kelling, but I'm just a little, so there will be nothing previous, it'll be archived from now back 6 months. I'm just restating it because it didn't totally make sense. It'll be deleted
Okay.
past that.
pass it, yeah.
Okay. You're good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay, and then everything moving forward. Okay, any other questions? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 4-0-0. There's one absent. And that motion passes. Okay, on to item 19, which are the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes of 1/7/2025 AP Standing Committee, 1/9/2025 regular meeting, 1/21/25 AP Standing Committee, 1/23/2025 regular state planning and project meeting, with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments or typos or other errors that we may not have caught or that may need to be corrected.
Is there a second to that motion?
I will second that.
Okay, any discussion? Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
That was an aye. Director Kelling.
Aye.
And Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 4-0-0. And there is one absent. And, item 20, discussion vote on forming and or dissolving ad hoc committees. We don't have enough people tonight to do that. So we are going to forego that, even though we need potentially another ad hoc. So unless there's any issue with that, I'm gonna move on to item 21.
Okay.
Discussion vote on future agenda items. Are there any other future agenda items?
Do you want me to agendize the 700 forms, or do you want to do them on your own time?
I think you should agenda, that's the first way,
Agendize?
agendize them so that we get them done.
Okay, so do you want that for March 6th?
Sure.
Is that, they're due April 1st.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that for March 6th.
Otherwise, we don't get them.
Also,
You might,
email to do the other classes.
Yes, I'm gonna put that.
and you may wanna put those on the agenda as well, just to make sure that
We're
people
getting them
have
done.
completed them.
Put them on the agenda, okay. Well, you know, I bug you in all my reports, so.
Yes, but
And then, just so nobody feels picked on, we'll, keep track of whose, turn theirs in.
got it.
So the people that have not, my name will be up there.
Okay.
I'm sure I
Anything
forgot
else
my
for
password
future
already.
agenda items?
That's what I'm saying.
All that's resettable.
I know.
No more agenda items than that.
That's it.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a
I'll second it.
Okay, why don't we give this one to Gibson since Kelly's got so many seconds?
That's fine.
Okay, so, roll call directors, Garcia is absent, Nyman,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Kelling.
Aye.
Okay, and Schoenberg is an aye. This meeting is adjourned. The time is 6:12 PM. And, thank you, everyone. That motion
Thank you,
passed
Joan.
4-0-0.
Thank you, Pam.
One
Good night,
absent.
guys.
Good night.
Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, have a good weekend, okay?